Past. Great, let's go. Morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone's doing well. We are about to kick off. We'll give about a minute for everyone to attend. The attendees is coming through thick and fast. So let's start. We're going to start with introductions and agenda. And yes, so why are we here? What is the goal of today? Well, today we're going to talk about on-site search optimizations, especially with Clearview. We have been working on optimization the past 12 months, and we thought we'll share the information we have on the webinar format. And we've joined together with Claudia and Mairead from Clearview to give you the top 10 tips and general tactics and strategies for that. So it's jam-packed. We're going to use the full hour for this. We're going to keep it brief, but also heavy in detail. Let's kick off. We've got intros and agendas. I'll start with myself. I'm Nick Branco. We have met before. I'm based in Pretoria's African office of Vimo. In our consulting department, we specialize in conversion optimization, search engine optimization, and strategy. So we have a big focus on things like on-site optimization. On to Claudia.
Hi everyone, nice to virtually meet you all. So I look after our strategic partners in EMEA. So I'm based out in the London office. I've been with Clearview just nearly 3 years now. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking you all through this presentation today.
Perfect. Hi everyone, my name is Mairead and I'm a Customer Success Manager at Clearview here in the UK. So my job is to ensure that our customers are making the most of the tool and that on-site search experience is as optimal as possible. And I've been at Clearview now for just under 2 years. Thank you.
So I'll just take all of you through the agenda for today. So we'll be starting off first just going over the current state of site search in today's e-commerce landscape, so why search is so relevant and why it's a really important tool that you should be optimizing. Then collectively we'll deep dive into 10 ways to optimize your site search, so looking at some actionable insights and tips that you can take away and go and implement to make sure you're continuously getting that ROI back. Thirdly, we'll go into the benefits of an enhanced site search experience, so looking a bit into the different metrics you should be monitoring and the impacts that a successful implementation with Clearview could have. And then lastly, I will be running all you guys through the Clearview product roadmap, so showing you what's coming next, and yeah, giving you some stuff to get excited about. So I'll pass over to Mairead first, just to take you, actually, no, it's me still. So yeah, I'll give you a bit of background on Clearview, Clearview's presence in the market. So our relationship with Vimo has spanned over 7 years, a really long time. And we're really grateful to Vimo's contribution, not only in just being our partner, but really like genuinely help us build a solid product that retailers really want. And over the years, they've brought a really excellent domain understanding and a passion for us to help stay one step ahead of the game in improving discovery for online shopping. So yeah, we've had a really great relationship with these guys. And yeah, on to our relationship with Magento. So we have a plug and play integration with Magento. Magento does take up quite a large majority of our client base, and a lot of our product development goes into that platform. So we power over 3,000 sites across 40 countries and in 25 different languages. So we're headquartered in Helsinki, but we've got offices in London, Atlanta, India, and Sweden, and we service clients in South Africa and also in APAC. So yeah, now I'll pass over to Mairead to run through the first point.
Thank you, Claudia. So what's the problem? E-commerce platforms aren't inherently built to provide a really great search and navigation experience. And most will match on a simple keyword basis and fall down when we look at functionalities such as error tolerance, catalog enrichment, and the handling of more complex queries. So retailers like yourselves are now turning to some sort of third party because your requirements can't be handled with a native search solution. And with the likes of Amazon and Google continuously optimizing their search, it's hugely important that your sites also have an optimal search experience, because customers are expecting that from all websites. And it's seen as much more of an important aspect of an average e-commerce site. So according to Forrester, 43% of visitors immediately go to a search box. So the search box is the first port of call. And it's the only place on a website where you can truly express your desires. In an online realm, customer interaction is limited. There's no shop assistant to help you on your way. So it's hugely important you have something intelligent in place to help you understand the needs of the shopper. And for the most part, customers who search are high intent buyers. They know exactly what they want to see. Slide. Thank you. Yeah, only 15% of companies have dedicated resources to optimizing e-commerce site search experience. And this is hugely surprising. Slide, please. As we've seen that users that complete a search are around 3 to 5 times more likely to convert. And this represents a real opportunity to drive customers to use the search box, especially given the current climate. If sessions have dropped on site, it's hugely important to convert any customer that is landing on your site. And the more you can push those users to search, the much more likely they will be to convert. And on the flip side, if new customers are coming to your site, it's hugely important to show them what they're looking for, so they don't need to bounce off and rely on anyone else. And retailers should really be pushing search as the primary route of navigation. Slide, please. Okay, so there's 4 key pillars of Klaviyo search. So the first is our natural language processing. So this is the ability to understand the intent behind what someone is searching for. So in the same way that people speak in different ways, people also search in different ways. And this is hugely reflected in the way in which people type. So things like error tolerance, so simple misspells, automating and enriching the catalog data, and handling longer, more complex tail queries are things that Klaviyo can do out of the box. So once we've understood the intent behind a query, how we then go about ordering and ranking those products is our machine learning algorithm. So what we're tracking is what people are coming onto site and searching for, what products people are clicking on through search, and what's being converted across the whole site. And that's how we'll continue to learn and optimize. So if there's 100 products that are relevant to a query that's been decided by our NLP algorithm, how those products will be ordered and ranked will be based upon the click-through search and conversions across the whole site. However, the other 2 key pillars of Klaviyo do involve kind of your own involvement and business logic as well. So the third is merchandising. So you know your business better than anyone else, and you might have a brand that you particularly want to push. It might be coming up to a holiday season and you want to push a specific collection prior to the actual date itself. It may be Valentine's Day and you want to showcase engagement rings, for example. So this is your opportunity to override the machine learning with your own business logic and input your own business strategy to your search. And the 4th pillar is analytics. So we'll be discussing this more in the top 10 tips, but you're able to see things within Klaviyo, like what are the most frequently searched keywords? You know, are the products that you want to showcase aligning to these? What are the keywords that are returning 0 results? Like what are the keywords that people are searching for on your site and nothing is found? How can you help reduce bounce rate by creating synonyms, URL redirects, etc.? Where are these searches being made from? How can that help build out your Google ad campaigns, for example? And what's the conversion data around search? So what are the top sold products within the last 30 days, for example? So these are the 4 pillars that make up kind of Klaviyo's DNA, as we like to call it. So now I'll be passing over to Claudia and she'll start taking us through the top 10 tips.
Perfect. So yeah, tip number 1 is focus on the visual aspect to site search, introduce a JavaScript overlay. So design is one of the quite important elements of when we're taking a new client through discovery. And yeah, Nick, if you just move the move the slide on, you'll see, and there's a reason why most of our clients are using that search drop down, which we call the overlay. So we find that by displaying relevant products within the quick search, shoppers are 68% more likely to click through. So it really does increase click-through rates because it's the first sort of products that customers are seeing. So yeah, the higher it up it appears, the more likely they're going to be to click through it. So hence why a lot of our clients do try to really nail down the design and make sure it fits in with the wider styling of the site. Slide, please. Thank you. So yeah, as you can see here on iStore, they're using a faceted search, which is one of our out-of-the-box designs. So you can see on the left-hand side, you've got the filters, which are just attributes that we pull through from Magento. You're able to filter down, and then you can actually click straight on the product card, and it will take you straight through to the PDP. So it really speeds up the user journey. Imagine like having to search, hit enter, wait for a load time, hit filters. So it's really trying to just push relevant products to the customer straight away and speed up the buying journey as well. Next slide, please. Thank you. So a lot of our clients have become a lot more sort of experimental with search designs and incorporating other aspects of their site into the overlay as well. And blog content, CMS content is one of the growing areas we've really seen a trend in. So one of our clients, Pie Skincare, you can see they've got the page results lined up next to the product grid. So when you search for a skin condition, you're not only getting the products that fit that specific condition, you're also getting the content that marries up with that, which plays really nicely, especially if you're coming onto site, you don't really know what to buy. So it's promoting that customer loyalty and that customer lifetime value, and also a brand community showing that, you know, we do care what you're buying. We want to make sure you buy the right products. So that's a really nice implementation that a lot of our clients in Europe have started to base their designs off. Next slide, please. And another trend that we've seen a lot in the market is the hard coding of content links. So this block you can see that I've highlighted in red is a static block of content links. So it's hard coded, no matter that the rest of the overlay changes with the suggestions and products, that remains the same. And the reason they've done that is because deliveries and returns are one of the first things that customers search for before buying. So what they wanted to do is just make sure they're really exposed within search so they're easy to navigate, because sometimes those links can be quite hidden and a little bit clunky to find on a website. We've seen other clients do like hard code their student discount, loyalty program, storerooms, just any sort of pages that you want to make sure customers are seeing. So you can be quite clever in the sort of content you can hard code. Next slide, please. Perfect. And the benefits of just implementing this overlay and making it as optimal as possible is primarily it speeds up the user journey. So just like when you're on Amazon and Google, like the moment you hit a keystroke, you're being served results. So even if you don't know what you're looking for, that overlay can act as sort of a virtual shopper in providing suggestions, providing relevant content, and ultimately products. It can take the customer straight to the product detail page. So again, skipping all of that load time, having to hit filters, and hopefully getting them to the checkout as fast as possible. Users see a variety of results, which we covered on, and then finally fully customizable. So you can really tailor this dependent on your business goals and what you want to highlight within search, and really fine tune the design to make sure it really fits within the site. Next slide, please. And on a second point, which kind of fits back into the previous one, is adopting a mobile search-centric approach. So I won't delve too much into these stats. I'm sure you're all aware that mobile plays a huge part in how we go about optimizing sites now, and it's one of the main things that we do look at when we are building out a search design, because a lot of traffic is coming through mobile, and if you can really make sure people are searching on mobile, you'll really start to reap the benefits in terms of conversion rates and also revenue. Slide, please. This is just an implementation that we did with one of our clients, just to make sure search was really exposed on mobile. So initially the search bar was actually hidden in the top right hand corner and it wasn't getting much traction at all. But when we delved into their Google Analytics, we found that when people did search, they were a lot more likely to convert. It was almost 7 times more likely. So that informed us that we should really be making a decision around pushing search, pushing traffic through search. So we ideally want everyone searching, because if we can get that to happen, the conversion rate is going to be really high. So what we did firstly is widen the search bar. So we made it full width, always exposed, just so people are always seeing it and they're more likely to use it. The second thing we did was upon activation. So just like you have all these features on desktop, we made them really mobile friendly. So we pushed everything to be full page to really fit in line with the design on mobile. So they've got popular searches, trending products, and then on the third picture, you'll see the suggestions, which change as you type. And also the product listing. So it's basically everything that is available on desktop, but just making it look a lot more cleaner and making that user experience a lot more seamless on mobile. So any little changes like this, when a client comes to us and say, we really want to make Clayview mobile friendly, these are the sorts of suggestions that we do make. And if you have any ideas around this, be sure to talk to Vimo and they can help guide you alongside us in just making sure it's optimal as possible. Next slide, please. Perfect. Tip number 3. So as Marie covered, machine learning is one of our key pillars within our product. So all of our clients will be using a layer of automated machine learning to optimize results. So the way that works in the back end, which you wouldn't really be able to see if you came onto a site. So we're firstly looking at a relevancy score. So if you just go on to the next slide, Nick. Sorry. Thank you. Perfect. So yeah, on the front end, you wouldn't know all this magic is happening in the back end. So when you search for a product, so let's say Notepad, the first thing that Clayview does is gives it a relevancy score. So we look at, is Notepad in the product name? Is it in the description? Is it in the short description? Any attributes? And upon that, we'll give it a relevancy score. And secondary to that, we'll give it a machine learning score, which is based on other customers that have searched for Notepad. What have they clicked on? What have they bought? What have they queried? And those scores are combined together to give this ranking, which incorporates not only popularity, but also machine learning. And whilst all this is really great and you can leave it, it's self-optimizing, it's continuously learning, that leads me on to my next point, which is, obviously, machine learning is really great, automation is great, but your business logic is so important too. So as Mairead mentioned, like if you're running any sort of campaigns or sales, anything to do with seasonality, or you want to push a product with a certain margin or anything to do with that, you will still need to give that input into Clayview to make sure we are boosting those products according to your logic. So that's why what we find is machine learning works great, but it's always good to implement your own logic, and that's what we'll delve into now, is ways that you can achieve that using our different features within the Merchant Center. So that leads on to tip 4, a no results found personalization, which Nick's actually going to take you guys through now.
Great, Claudia, thanks for that. So I'm going to handle the next 3 tips. So the next 3 tips is really our foundation of optimization, which we've started about 12 months ago on certain clients. We call it foundation because you can do it in admin, and I'm going to show you what the result is and what we can do there. Great, so the first one is 0 results. So the 0 results optimization is that there's a report in admin itself, when you have access to the portal, and the idea is that we want to not get to 0 results. There's a lot of insights in here. So in the reports analytics, you can get to keywords with 0 results, and you can see what are people searching for, which are getting 0 results, sorted by the number of accounts. Now, what do we do with this? Now, there are 5 different types of 0 results. One is the slight misspellings. So just just common, like they can't spell it, so a certain product. The other one is a different term, but the same product. So for example, they are searching for iPad versus a tablet, and then a different brand. So totally different brand, but we kind of sold it a similar product, and you can find that. And the next one is that we don't have the product at all, which we'll discuss. And then the last one, which is not really common in this report, is just gibberish. Not much we can do about that. So how do we go about solving this? Well, in terms of the tools we have on hand, it's really two: the synonym management and the URL redirects. So for synonym management, we can take some of these common reasons for zero results, and you can add a synonym for it. So for example, this example is jigsaw. In South Africa, we might call it more a puzzle or a game. So we can say when people search for jigsaw, rather search for the term game. So the impact on the customer is that when they search for terms of jigsaw, they'll get, where before they got zero results, they'll now get search terms for this. So that's the idea of synonym management. You can do similar things in terms of brands. If you don't have a particular brand, but you have a related brand, you can add synonyms for that as well. So that's one tactic. You can do it in Clearview management. Here's an example from Merad. If you want to go through this, is a good example of also brands and type of products.
Yeah, so Skinny is one of our clients, and they sold like a dupe of an AirPod, but they were actually called, I think, earbuds. Yeah. So when people were searching for AirPods, it was driving no results because like it wasn't in the catalog. Like Clearview didn't make the association. So all they did in the back end, which Nick just showed you, was add in a synonym. So AirPods equals earbuds. So it means that anytime someone searches AirPods, they're always redirected to earbuds. So it just resolved that no results found, connected people to the product. So it was just a little change they made in 30 seconds, which made a big difference. Because when there was the big hype on AirPods, they had a really big increase in traffic because they were promoting this new product on social. So just keeping a little eye out on that list and making these little tweaks will really help in the long term.
Thanks, Claudia. So another tool to have is URL redirects. So we've used this tool in the past where, again, that example, there's your results, where if you have people searching for a certain brand, but you don't have the exact brand or exact product, but you have a related product, what we can do is actually direct that term to a category. For example, again, back to the iPad and tablets, if you have a whole section, you don't sell iPads, but you sell tablets, you'd rather go to the whole section, just direct them to the category. Got opportunity to create a great landing page and really direct the customers there. So that's the first example of really in admin. You can do it yourself, you can get Vimeo to do it, etc. Really easy to do. Again, it seems easy, but it's really powerful, and that's why we call it the foundation of the optimizations. The next one, number 2, is from top number 5, is top product optimization. So the idea here, the end in mind, is that we want to, there's definitely a layer of top sellers, and we want to make sure that when people search for it, those flow to the top. So our normal methodology here is, again, checking the stats. So we go into the analytics tool and we look at what are the top keywords, and we can change the period on the top right as well. So we're looking at what is popular for that period. In this example, it's photo album, Father's Day card, birthday card. So what we want to do is that if we have products that relate to the certain keywords, we want to make sure that they appear first rather than any other tool. So we're improving, again, the experience and thereby increasing the conversion optimization. With it, how do we do that? So we have our keywords. We start with really a spreadsheet. So we have our keywords. We choose about 5 to 10 products per keyword that can match for that. And then we use a tool in Clearview regarding promotions. Here's another tool. There's actually 2 sources of data. What is the popular products per search term? Clearview now is actually a recent report I've seen in the past 3 months where we look at the most sold products per keyword. This is a great example. What we actually do on top of that is go into Magento and actually look for the top seller per products. If you talk to the merchants, they might even know what their top products are for particular keywords. Great. So now we have the data. Now let's optimize Clearview to actually make sure the top products appear there. Excellent. So what we have here, we really prefer the keyword level merchandising tool. Very straightforward tool. We enter the keyword on top. So in our example there, Father's Day, or Jack in this example, and we actually search for this top product that we want to promote. Again, 5 to 10 products we want to promote. Then we also drag it to the right, and we also change the order. So we can change from bestseller to worst seller, etc. So we really, that keyword visual merchandising, we can really control what people search for on the keywords. So again, one of those low-hanging fruits, very easy to do, one of the foundations that we could do, and you could do it by admin yourself as well. Excellent. Then on to tip number 6, again, one of the foundations. Now, it's optimization via synonym management. I already covered synonyms in handling 0 results, but there's still an exercise that you can take to improve it further. And again, we start with data. Let's see what people are searching for, what terms they're using for to find products. Again, another result I like to use for this example, the clicks report. So we're looking at, okay, people clicked 610 times on a certain product, what terms they use. And we can look at this kind of data, and with our knowledge about the product, with our knowledge of just maybe the industry terms, we can then tweak the synonyms as well. In terms of synonyms, if I can dive a bit deeper, just to say what there's 2 different types. When you get into this, they call it unidirectional and bidirectional. So bidirectional means, in this example, if you search for hot pink, you'll get fuchsia. You search for hot fuchsia, you get hot pink. Now, that's important because you don't want to pollute other keywords with the synonym. So this is a mutual term, bidirectional. The other example is unidirectional. So this is actually an example that Claudia will go through regarding an example in the UK. But a good example is, for example, iPad and tablet. If you do sell iPad and you sell tablets, if you search for iPad, you want iPads to appear. If you want to tablet, you want iPads to appear. So that's when you want to don't pollute it and use the unidirectional. That is going into synonym management. Another source I like to use is analytics as well. So again, on the concept of identifying those words that people are using and that the Clearview search is not aware of, what I suggest, you can go into your search console, go into analytics, and see what people are searching for. I took a real example here, unfortunately, it is all face marks, but the idea is there where you can look into what people are searching on Google to see what people actually spell words, etc. But the idea is that you can take that and you can optimize your on-site search for that. But yeah, so synonym management definitely as an important tool out of 0 results, but on its own, you can take that as a different optimization routine as well. On to number 7. Is that right?
Perfect, thank you. So tip number 7 is optimizing no results found queries. So no results found creates a real disconnect in the shopping journey, especially if it's your first time on site and the first thing that you search for leads you to a no results found. So it's really important, as Nick has said, is to keep an eye on them and create synonyms, URL redirects to really handle and optimize these to minimize it as much as you possibly can. Slide, please. However, when you look at an example like New Look, when I've made a simple misspelling, I've searched for wrap top, I know that they sell wrap tops, but I have misspelt it. They don't provide me with any alternative suggestions or recommendations to really encourage me to carry on my buying journey. Luckily, I am a loyal customer, but however, if I wasn't, I would be very inclined to bounce at this point in time and try my luck on a competitor site. However, slide please. With Clearview, we provide a no results found overlay. So as you can see here with Missy Empire, they're an up and coming fast fashion brand, and they've spent a lot of time trying to optimize this journey as much as possible, particularly because they're all based online. So they pull through personalized product recommendations, popular keywords, and also banners, which feature a URL redirect to their new in category, which is their highest converting category. And they've also nailed their target audience through the messaging, which is, sorry, babe, we can't find what you're looking for. Here's some stuff you'll love instead. So whilst this won't work for everyone, it's really great to see how they have managed to find their brand voice in a fast fashion world. So it's a much better experience than that of New Look, and I'd be much more inclined to stay on site and carry on kind of my shopping journey. Slide, please.
Great, thanks, Mariette. I have a local example here, the Multiply online shop. So quite a unique e-commerce store where they're really not traditional e-commerce. They don't stock the products for sale, but they've selected a selection of lifestyle products. So getting the full 4-page was very important for them. So here's an example. We search for a term, and then we've customized it with a layer of popular products, which in their case is vouchers, which is perfect because then if they don't stock it, you can get a voucher and then buy it in the store, but also popular searches. Their aim of the business also is to sell the products like the garments and the other products that they do have there. So this is another good local example, which works well for the special business case of Multiply. I can maybe take this one. So in terms of, again, one of those easy things, you can jump into admin and actually customize yourself. Again, this is in Clearview admin under customizations. You can then customize either generic message for anything, or you can actually craft it per keyword. I'm not going to go through the detail here, but it is an admin. We can customize the message and per keyword, and also add a banner as well.
Perfect. So thanks, Nick. So tip number 8 is retain your customers by leveraging personalization within site search. Slide, please. So one of our customers, Bulletproof, do an excellent job of leveraging personalization in various touch points of a customer's online search experience. So firstly, when you activate search, you're greeted with products. So if it's your first time on site, these will be trending products based upon what the majority of their customers are coming on site, clicking on, and what's being converted across the whole site. However, as we continue to kind of learn and optimize, these will become tailored and personalized. So what you see will be different to what I see based upon our engagement with different products on site. So what we're trying to do is predict what a customer wants even before they know that they want to buy it. And by leveraging personalization within site search, not only will customers feel more valued, but they'll leave the shop feeling like they've had a great and positive online shopping experience. And it's quite simple to kind of enable that within Clearview. So if you just go on to the next slide, please. So here, as you can see, you just need to enable trending products and recently viewed items, and you can change the captioning as well. So you might change, trending products to handpicked for you, for example, dependent upon kind of the industry that you're within and your brand messaging as well. Next slide. So tip number 9 is understanding your customer's intent and leveraging advanced natural language processing. So Clearview can do kind of like some misspellings out of the box. So if you make a simple misspell, we can show kind of highly relevant results. Slide, please. And you can see this here in the Osprey London example. So I've misspelled kind of shoulder bag, and I'm still getting relevant results pulling through. Next slide, please. Then the next example with Missy Empire again, you can see that when I search for neutral dress, I'm also getting kind of beige and white products appearing too, just to kind of enrich the catalogue and give it a lot more depth and coverage. Next slide, please. And I think the next topic to discuss is the advanced natural language processing. So what we're able to do is break down and understand the intent behind longer, more complex tail queries. So Richard Sounds is one of our clients that's currently using this. So if I'm searching for Bluetooth speaker in black under £50, we're able to break this down and understand that speaker is the noun, so it should be given the highest priority. Black, Bluetooth, and 50 are all attributes of the product, and in is kind of a preposition. So it shows you just how far you can go with site search. And with the rise of kind of voice search and things like Amazon Alexa, Siri, etc., we expect these longer, more conversational style queries to become more mainstream. And I also wanted to point out that Clayview does also support voice search on a Chrome browser. And you can speak with kind of Vimo about getting this enabled and set up. Next slide, please. So the next optimization would be about placeholder text. So a lot of customers expect to be able to search in this type of way on Google or Amazon, but they might not necessarily think that they'll get exactly the same kind of rich search experience on your e-commerce site as well. So it's really good if you're able to add in kind of placeholder text within the search. As you can see here, like ASOS have done, Baker Ross, so like search by brand, product, inspiration, collection, etc. To really push people to search in this more detailed manner so they can quickly drill down to the products that they're looking for. And then I'll hand over to Nick for campaign tactics.
Great, thanks, Mairead. Yeah, so the last tip of our top 10s, campaign tactics. I'm sure as we went through the top 9, you can really see some of the tactics that you can use in your own store. Combination, you can do an admin, combination of, we can talk to Vimo about optimizing. So campaign tactics, one of my favorites. So what do you mean by campaign tactics? Well, already when you're busy with the marketing campaign, you're doing the common things. You're doing mailer campaigns, you're doing landing pages, you're doing merchandising. Those are top of mind. Those are regular activities. Now that what we're saying is think about on-site search, think about Clayview. And then there's really 2 tools that we can really use. One is banners and the other one is boosting. So let's go into banners. We actually have a good example from the UK, Made.
Yeah, so Made.com have inputted this banner on a specific keyword, and it's in the form of a GIF as well. So anytime they search for the query sofa, the banner is kind of appearing within the search. And when you click through to the search results landing page as well, you can see this banner appearing at the top. So creating kind of continuity in the kind of customer journey as well.
Correct, yeah. And you can extend the idea as well, not just obviously sofa, but any other keyword results. Let's go into the actual setup just to see the power of it. I'll just go through this one. So again, with the banner, set up the banner. It's a great tool here where you can set the date, so you can set and forget together with your other banners and campaigns that you have on Magento. There's again, there's 2 different types of terms. You can either use it generically, so you have a site-wide campaign, any type of search brings it up, or you can be very focused and actually do it on a specific search term. So it looks like, and then a great benefit of this, you can actually measure the clicks of that. You can measure it in Clayview, or you can add some tags and measure it in analytics as well. So banners very powerful in terms of a campaign tactic, very powerful to use for this case. The other one is, as we mentioned, is product boosting. We have a classic example. I love this example from the UK. I think Mary will take this one.
Yeah, so I don't know if any of you watched I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, but Holly Willoughby was, who is a celebrity, was on the show. And a lot of people, you know, were seeing the boots that she was wearing, which were by one of our retailers, Gwensons, and they were pushing it out through campaigns, and people were coming onto site and searching for Holly, but Holly didn't match up to anything in the product catalogue. So what they did is created a synonym to Nanette, as Nick has shown you how to do kind of earlier in the presentation. So all of that brand and style of shoe are appearing. And they also boosted the top kind of 2 products as well that she was specifically wearing on the show as well.
Brilliant. I mean, great example also of analyzing the stats and getting campaign for that. Then on to the next one in terms of the campaign tactics is product boosting. So again, you're looking at your mailers, landing pages. There's a certain list of products that you want to promote. And another way to promote that is with product level boosting. Now, boosting means that the higher the number is, the more it will appear on top. So again, if you've got those certain products, they might not appear on top search for various reasons, but you have the power in Clayview to do that. And again, you can do this admin yourself. There's 2 ways of doing it. One is manual, so quite easy. Search for the product name, adjust the number. By default, there's always a 1. And as we discussed in the beginning of the presentation, there is the self-learning based on sales and clicks, and that there's a machine learning. But you can override all that and actually boost it. Again, great tactic where if you have a certain list of products, you could do that. However, if your list is quite long, and quite, you can imagine quite manual, there's also rule-based one. So you can actually set rules to boost it. So whatever if your list of products do come in a certain rule-based, a popular one is category, or even brand, or even price, you can use a rule-based. You're probably used to this in catalog rules in terms of setting up the rules, and that will automatically boost on that rules. So again, one of those set and forget, good example, good tactic. If you always put your promotions in promotional category, why don't you set a rule if a product appears in the product promotion category, it will automatically higher boosted. And the impact is that if you go to a site, you're running a large campaign, again, you've got the campaigns, got the landing pages, got the merchandising on the PLP, but immediately, as we saw, people got to search first. As they start searching, they'll see a banner, which is a higher click-through rate. And of course, when they search what your products and promotion will appear. Another tactic, which we covered in synonym management, was a redirect. So if you really have a very specific campaign, you can forward people to a great landing page. As soon as people search for that, why don't you direct them temporarily to that category page just to improve that conversion as well. Great.
Thanks, Nick. That's great. So I'm just going to kind of cover off what does success look like. So next slide, please. So here are some performance metrics from one of our clients. So as you can see for the data, while search only makes up kind of 17% of sessions, it actually contributes to 52% of the revenue. So as we can see, it's very clear that conversions are a lot better when users have performed a site search, and it represents a real opportunity for you to try and push your kind of customers to use site search, as they're much more likely to convert. Next slide. So expectations of uplift. So in an ongoing study that we're currently doing across 6 enterprise customers over a 1-year period, after implementing Klaviyo, here are some of the stats they saw. So on average, there's a 21% uplift in revenue. In half of the case studies, we studied bounce rate reduced by over 50%. And on average, there's a 12% increase in search-led conversion. So these are the kind of stats that you'll be able to see and measure through Google Analytics. Now I'll pass over to Claudia.
Perfect, thank you. So yeah, just to round off the presentation, we're going to be running just through the product roadmap that we're currently working on, so new releases in the upcoming year, and then we'll finish off with a Q&A. If there are any questions that anyone has thought of or pops into their head along the last bit, be sure to put them in the chat box and we will cover them off at the end of the presentation. So firstly, some of you might be aware that Klaviyo does already have a category merchandising module. So we released this just over a year ago now. So what we're doing is actually taking our machine learning or AI and powering category pages. So a lot of you might be using another module or just Magento's native capabilities, but what Klaviyo does is automates the listing, similar in the same fashion that we do for search, but applies that machine learning, but also does give clients a full merchandising suite to then override the machine learning and implement your own listings. So again, we've got the visual merchandiser. You can create merchandising rules. It's a very similar setup to kind of what we've just run through for search. We can also power facets and sorting, or alternatively, you can preserve the theme layout on Magento. So you can either use our template, or you can actually render the page through Magento, and all Klaviyo will do is actually change the ordering of the listing. So all we're doing is sorting the page as opposed to like serving the whole page. So both options are available. And then we also have an analytics report as well, which goes through things like your category performances, your revenue per category, product click-through rates, conversion rates. It looks at different products in different categories where it's getting the most optimal performance. So it'll just give you that kind of foundation to really understand where you can let the machine learning run and where you might need to focus more manual efforts around visual merchandising and rule-based promotions. And you can also add in banners in the same way you can do for search as well. So that is our version 1, which is already available. And then slide, please. just to run you through some of our new releases around this that are going to be coming out in the upcoming quarter. So we're completely refreshing the dashboard around this. As you can see in the first picture, you can set category default rules. So rather than have to go into each category and set up rules, you can actually apply them once and then set them to be global. So you can copy them against different categories. And on top of those default rules, you can then also schedule campaigns. So you can kind of do this in the current release, but with this new feature, you can actually put a time and date parameter on. So meaning that you can push campaigns automatically. You're not having to come in and turn it on, turn it off. So it reduces that manual effort. And as you can also see, we've implemented a grid view. So previously it was solely the list, but this grid view is just a lot easier on the eye when you're dragging and dropping visual merchandising many products. It gives you more of a feel like what it will look like before pushing live. So there's a preview functionality, scheduling of campaigns, ability to set default rules. So some really new exciting stuff coming out that, you know, will mean that we can help also not only power your search, but also the category side of things. So taking away that manual effort, providing automation. So yeah, if this is something that anyone's interested in, yeah, please speak to Bimo, speak to us, and we can help you get set up with that. Introducing Moi. So this has been something that our CTO has been working on very much. So his passion comes through from linguistics, his PhD in natural language processing, hence why a lot of our product offering is kind of focused around that. So what we are currently working on is a live chatbot for mobile. So it's going to be extracting a lot of that natural language functionality and bringing that to a chat. So rather than use a search box to search, what you can actually do is talk to this talk to Moi, as we call it, and be able to search for longer tail queries. So I'm looking for chairs under £200. And in the same fashion, Murray talked us through about extracting that intent. We're going to be able to do that, but also converse with the merchant as well, offering different options, so different attributes, different colors, and then product recommendations alongside that. So it's just another way that we're introducing for merchants to easily navigate products by using that conversational style query and using that natural language processing to understand the true intent. So that will be available on mobile. Next slide. And we also will be releasing a new analytics dashboard, so enriching what we currently have, making it a lot more visual to understand, a lot more insight. So we're adding up to 20 new data points. So we're looking at performance across mobile, desktop, filter analysis, search term pattern query data. So just plenty more data points that can really help optimize the account and build out those optimizations that Nick and Mairead and myself have run through there. So you'll all gain access to this automatically when it's released. You'll see it within the Merchant Center. Thank you. So personalization is another really exciting development for Klaviyo. So as we've run through, you currently have personalization not only when you activate search, but also for a no results found. But what we're going to be doing is actually leveraging that personalization into the wider algorithm that Klaviyo provides. So looking at dynamically updating the sort order based on individuals' users and their browsing behavior. So this will apply for search results pages and also category pages if you are using our category merchandising module. So this new feature leverages our Klaviyo's new API v2, and it's available via our plugin and also on an API integration. So this feature is currently in beta. So if anyone is interested in trying it out, testing it alongside ourselves and Vimo, building up a really strong use case, please do get in touch, because we're really excited just to start pushing this out and getting people using it. So it does use specific data points such as key attributes that customers are interacting with, usage of filters, and also categories viewed. And then we can also feed in data from another third-party personalization source if you're using a Nosto, a Segmentify, another plugin. We can also feed in data via a variable to say this customer likes this specific brand and price point, and that can also enrich our algorithm even further. So So it's a really cool, exciting development. So please do get in touch if you are interested in this. It isn't available on the preserve layout option. It would need to be on a Clayview based template option, just so you are aware. But yeah, please do get in touch if it is something that you are excited by. Next slide, please. Yeah, and Clayview and Yotpo were in the talks of releasing an integration. So we've been testing it out on a few clients, and the basis behind this is we will be indexing their reviews. So let's say you have a product. Oh, sorry, don't know what's happening there. Let's say you do have a product which has a certain level of review. So someone has commented, great birthday present for dad, warm and cozy hoodie, any sort of keywords that are specified around that product. Clayview can then index that data. So when people are actually searching for present for dad or warm and cozy hoodie, like, we will be able to pull that through from the reviews. So it's again a similar way of what we're doing with the enrichment, but widening that search depth and covering more search results as well. So do keep an eye out for more information on this, and we'll be sure to push this out to you all when we do release it to the wider public. And thank you so much for listening, everyone. I really hope you've been able to take away some really actionable tips, and really great to virtually meet you all. Hopefully it will be one day in South Africa. But yeah, I'd like to open the floor to any questions for ourselves, Vimo, anything at all. Please do ask away.
Great, thanks, Claudia. Thanks so much for that. I think before we get to the questions, I do want to summarize. So, very excited about the features upcoming in the roadmap. Very keen to see some of those things, just to extend the optimizations thereof. Then, in terms of next step, we definitely share the slide. So, if you're listening, you'll get the slide deck and you'll get all the steps. But really, as we know, the devil's in the details. So we need to apply it as well. So that's where hopefully you can take the tips, you can look into your analytics, and you can apply some of these aspects. Otherwise, you can talk to your Vimo project manager. They can bring on consulting. We have already standard, as I mentioned, defined optimization kind of packages. This is what we're going to do. This is the outcome. It's very, very clear. So you can definitely talk to your project manager first, or if you have access to myself, Steph, or Jason, you can reach out to them as well, and we can go through it, go through your particular keywords, your particular campaigns, and then we can start a discussion and go from there. Great. So in terms of Q&A, Merit, if you can maybe assist from your side. I'm getting a question here from Azola. Will the analytics dashboard pull its data straight from Magento back end? In terms of, I can take that one. So in terms of the Clearview one, the Clearview dashboard, analytics dashboard, that I believe it is taken from Clearview itself. Mairead, if you want to confirm that, that's been the stats in general. So it's taken really from its own stats. People search for this and they get the sale. Where you have the opportunity of getting the whole picture, Clearview by default, there's easy integration into analytics. So in analytics, you can actually dive into the detail in terms of people search, what they search for, how many sales they had, new versus returning customer, etc. So in terms of Clearview dashboard, at this stage, it is all Clearview based. And then, but if you go into analytics, that merges the data from Magento and Clearview.
Yeah, that's correct. You answered that better than us.
Okay, great. Excellent. All right, what are we doing for time? It is 6 minutes to. There's another question here. Okay, thank you. Great. I'll just check another questions that come through. All right, I think that let's call it. Everyone's super busy. Let's share the deck through. It'll come through the channel that you receive this on. And yes, thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much, Claudia and Merit, for assisting with us. Thanks for Merit for assisting us. So please, if any questions come after this, please contact us directly and we can take it from there.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Have a great.
See you another day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.